You've probably been told that sad endings give stories weight and meaning. But what if I told you they don't have to? What if, in fact, they rob us of the emotional payoff we deserve? This video was inspired by the new anime 2-Beat Hero X, which exploded onto the anime scene this season, bringing a refreshing take on a world filled with superheroes and special abilities. The story's theme being anyone can be a hero really hits hard, and I suggest everyone gives it a watch. In the first arc, we follow Ling Ling, who goes from a nobody working a marketing job to reinventing himself and becoming the number 10 hero. It wasn't all glitz and glam, as he first was a fake hero, impersonating nice, then finally became a hero in his own right, the commoner, the perfect hero story. He fulfilled his dream and was about to be with the one he loves, and was finally taking the first step towards happily ever after. But it was all a step too short, an outstretched arm never taken. Everything was ripped away from him in the climax, when Moon was seemingly killed right before his eyes, in an instant. Watching it unfold, my heart was left in disbelief. How did this happen? Why did this happen? Did their story have to end this way? The worst part, all my questions remain unanswered as we're sent back in time to witness the story of their main suspect, Yi-So. I say all of this to lay the premise of today's video, and I'll begin by making a bold claim. And get ready, because my claims will only be getting more bolder from here. There is no need for sad endings in stories. I'll admit, I'm a sucker for happy endings. It's not about wanting everything to be perfect. It's about the journey we take with these characters. When I watch them struggle, fail, and push beyond their limits, I'm with them every step of the way. So when they don't get the payoff they deserve, I feel betrayed. I feel like I've invested into something, only for it to be taken away. I will always reject such a narrative, and I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling this way. When we watch a show, it's not just about entertainment. It's about becoming the character. We feel their pain, their failures, and their growth. We go through everything they do. So when they reach the finish line and everything they fought for, we want them to succeed, because we need that closure. And without it, the journey feels incomplete, like something has been ripped away from us. Anime at its core is escapism. We don't just watch it, we live through the characters. We explore their worlds, fight alongside them, and grow with them. So when their journey ends in despair, it's not just their loss, it's our loss too. It feels like we've invested all this time, energy, and emotion, only for it to be tossed aside. If that ain't real betrayal, I don't know what is. It's not just an ending, it's the end of everything we've been through with them. What confuses me the most are people who revel in sad endings. The idea of the villain winning. This particularly frustrated me when watching Sukuna in JJK. There were actual theories of how he might win. And I just have to ask, to those people who did, why would you want that? Do you want a well-written story, or just something different for different sake? For me, I want to follow a story where the character's struggle is worth it, where their growth and sacrifices lead to something meaningful. Take My Hero Academia as an example. From the get-go, Deku says, "This is the story of how I became the #1 hero." The expectation is set immediately, and from there you can be hooked. I don't need endless will they, won't they scenarios or prolonged uncertainty about their journey. I want the payoff. I wanted the action, the story, the villain defeated, and the goal achieved. The problem with sad ending is that it takes all this away. They make all the struggles feel pointless. If the hero doesn't achieve their goal, if their journey doesn't lead to victory, then what was the point watching at all? Imagine if Naruto never became the Hokage and Sasuke did instead. Or even worse, Luffy doesn't become the Pirate King. Maybe this is a take I've grown into, but I've grown tired of the will they, won't they narratives. Whether it's action-driven stories or romance plots where you're just waiting for your favorite ship to sail. Honestly, only kids care about the endless uncertainty and the needless drama. Just give me the outcome and let me commit. This leads to speak about the chosen one trope. Some people can't stand it, other people love it. But one thing is for sure, and that it stood the test of time. People may argue that it's predictable and remove the stakes, but I will have to go against it. Because in truth, predictability is exactly what is needed. The reason we follow these characters is for their journey, and their victory is just a product of their journey. What's important is the character's journey and what they overcome, not necessarily the victory itself. Have to realize the whole point of a protagonist is that we're following their journey. Whatever happens, unless stated otherwise, we expect them to achieve their goal. Whether there's an in-universe prophecy or not, the author carefully selected that protagonist for a reason. We're meant to be following their story. And if there was someone else who was better suited for that role, they would have been the protagonist instead. That's just how storytelling works. Predictability in the chosen one story doesn't cheapen the journey. In fact, it makes it more emotionally fulfilling. The hero's success feels earned, and as viewers, we get the payoff we've been waiting for. The moment when everything they've worked for finally comes to fruition. This brings me to the final point of the discussion. We can't talk about sad endings without addressing the most powerful narrative device, and that is death. Death is a powerful tool. It's often an ultimate turning point for our protagonists, the moment they're forced to face the harsh realities of their world. It's usually the first time a character experiences a true loss or their naivety is shattered, pushing them towards becoming more pragmatic. At its best, death brings a sense of gravity to the story and can turn a naive dreamer into a hardened fighter. But here's the thing where stories go wrong. Death needs to be used sparingly and meaningfully. It shouldn't be thrown around recklessly just to add shock value. If a character's death doesn't serve one of these key narrative purposes, whether it's to deepen a character's journey or shift the story's tone, then what's the point of it? The exception being anime set in darker worlds, where despair is a fundamental part of the narrative. Death here makes sense, as it fits the world building and serves the tone. Everywhere else, where death is overused or it doesn't serve the story's core themes, it just leaves us feeling nothing. Why should we care about any character if they're just going to die anyway? If we're constantly robbed of emotional payoff, the story loses its emotional weight. The most important thing about death is that it should be timed carefully, as otherwise it can leave a sober taste in the viewer's mouth. And for me, the worst time is at the end, as it can leave a sober taste in my mouth. Like, why did Moon have to die? Why did Kaori have to die and not end up with Kosei? Why did Tatsumi have to dragonfly permanently? Why did mine have to end up in a catatonic state? I know many stories want to lead into the direction of characters having permanent consequences to their actions, to teach a larger message. But this doesn't sit right with me, nor does it stand true amongst the examples I gave. It's not like Eren dying at the end, or Edward Elric losing his alchemy. All of them could have had happy endings, and nothing else of the story would have had to change. This video has been me ranting about sad endings, and maybe in the end I am the child one. Ultimately, I do respect the author's decision, as who am I to say they're wrong for writing that way. Sad endings do have their place, but they should be meaningful and well crafted, and not forced. When done right, they elevate the story. When they come out of nowhere, they betray the investment we've made as viewers. Stories that leave us with nothing but sorrow don't fulfill the promise at the beginning made. We watch to see characters struggle with obstacles, but we also want them to succeed those obstacles. We want that payoff. But I'd love to hear from you. Do you disagree or agree with my takes? What's your thoughts on sad endings? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know which anime has the best or worst sad ending in your opinion. But that was the video for today. Like, comment and subscribe. And until next time, ciao.